Hello, everybody. Welcome to the session. I'm DB Malakhar, VP of Product Management at Alation. And today we have a great speaker, Raghu. He'll be talking about unlocking the power of real-time data to maximize data insights. Now, before we get into the details of the session, let me briefly introduce what Alation is about. Today, Alation provides the data intelligence platform and is sort of the pioneer in the space of the enterprise data catalog. Today, about 35% of the Fortune 100 companies trust Alation. They use Alation to find, understand, and govern their data. Essentially, what we do is we help people answer these 5 basic core questions, which is how to find information. Can it be used? Should it be used? Can I trust the data? And how should it be used in a compliant manner? Now, no wonder you see all these awards and recognition from the leading industry analysts. I'm also happy to announce that at the Databricks event, we are the Data Governance Partner of the Year. I thought there'll be some clapping, cheering. Thank you. Now let's talk a little bit about companies that are attempting to drive a data culture. The core point of this slide is that organizations that focus on a data-driven approach and are trying to drive a data culture within their organization are far more successful than their peers. What that means is they're probably 23 times more likely to acquire customers, 19 times more likely to be profitable, and 90% of them meet or exceed revenue targets. That's the value that companies get when they pursue a data-driven culture. Now, is that easy? Not really. There are a few challenges towards driving a data culture. The first is around how do I find the data? How do I understand the data? Am I using the data the right way? Am I using it in a compliant manner? Is it data that I can trust? How easily can I disseminate that data across a wide group of end users, from like business users, analysts, data scientists, BI report developers, etc. So that is where Alation comes in and is able to provide a data intelligence platform for the modern enterprise. Now, our approach here is pretty unique. What we do out here is that we provide a federated data approach, which is centralizing the knowledge about the data. It could be like governance rules and policies and a business glossary, etc. But at the same time, empowering the entire business user community to be able to self-service themselves so that they are empowered to find, understand, and govern their data, drive value from the data, and drive a data-driven culture within their organization. And today, the way the data intelligence platform is implemented, we connect to all of your data sources. We bring in all the metadata to make sense out of it. And one of the things we are announcing here is the partnership with Databricks. It really leverages the power of the Databricks Lakehouse, which in many ways is revolutionizing the way data is stored and shared. So we provide the search and discovery interface to be able to get into all those kinds of assets that are there in the data lakehouse. Now with that, I will hand it off to Raghu, who will talk about how he is going to unlock the power of real-time data to maximize data insights.
Sure.
Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you, DB. Good morning. Thanks to Team Alation. Thanks to Team Databricks for giving the stage to come and share our success stories. And thanks to everyone here who have come here to hear me, hear us. My name is Raghu Jayachandran, Senior Manager, Enterprise Data. My responsibilities are providing data solutions, building data ecosystems, innovation, and data strategy for RaceTrac's enterprise data. I also like to thank our enterprise data team. John Williams, JW, he is here with us today. Pat Landrum, Data Governance Manager, she was very instrumental in building and growing the Alation Data Governance Platform in RaceTrac. Jay Buxton is our business intelligence lead, all the Power BI reports, building the certified data sets and all such good stuff. And last but not least is Sam Hammond, Agile Product Delivery Manager, make sure all the Agile task and everything is put together. And I also like to thank the architects, data engineers, data scientists, our Scrum Masters, product managers, business analysts. Without all of them, I can't be here presenting in front of you today. So with that said, today's presentation is about unlocking the power of real-time data to maximize the data insights using the data governance platform on Alation and then the Databricks Lakehouse platform. Let's move on. So these are the three topics that I'm going to be presenting today. One is, what is the need for real-time analytics? And what did our implementation journey look like? What I mean by that is going to the cloud and then implementing a data governance platform as well as the Lakehouse platform, and then breaking the data ceiling. We were constrained with our traditional relational database systems, doing database backups, recoveries, traditional ETL tools that pumping the data from FTP processes. So it takes a lot of time, and we need to add the necessary resources like the memories, the CPUs. All these things take away the time, and by the time the data is available for us for reporting, it's already over 24 hours. So, and we also have IoT devices and high velocity, high volume type of data coming through. Our traditional on-prem systems were unable to support these data that is coming from our stores. So that's what I mean by breaking the data ceiling and going to the cloud platform. So a little about myself. I'm an IT professional for over 20 years. My LinkedIn profile, if you would like to be on my network, I have executed data solutions for manufacturing, financial services, government agencies, and retail sector. RaceTrac is my first retail experience. I enjoy hands-on technology, outdoor person, and all the interest that I have put up there. The least appreciated activities is writing with a pen and paper, because I'm a very fast typewriter. So as you see, like 20 years in IT, I'm always in front of the keyboard. And the latest gig for me is playing golf. I'm trying to get better at it this year. For RaceTrac, our CEO's vision was to make our company a data-driven organization. I'm happy to share that we are now a data-driven organization. As you can see, it might look like a regular gas station, but we have plenty of transactions going on in our stores. Like front court is nothing but you and me pull in our car and fill the gas, and there is a back court which is nothing but high semi trucks go in and fill the diesel tanks. They are like high velocity, high volume pumps. And then you have merchandisers inside and outside. We have vendors, suppliers, we have wholesale businesses. So all this put together, there is so much of volumes of data coming together, and everything is in silos. So our CEO's vision was to bring them all together. As you can see, I'm talking about several suppliers and vendors. Each have their own APIs, own formats, CSV, JSON format files. So all these, our traditional systems does not support it. And also, his vision is to drive the departmental advancement, and also the ultimate goal for us is to speak the same language and then make evidence-based analytics and drive business to make strategic decisions. That was his goal, and we are heading towards the direction, and we are a data-driven organization now. A little background about the company. We have four major businesses. RaceTrac is our primary convenience store retailer, and Raceway is our franchisee business. RaceTrac and Raceway are horizontally integrated companies. Like, we put the Raceway stores in strategic locations where we cannot operate the RaceTrac stores. And Metroplex Energy is nothing but we buy refined oil in bulk, and then we distribute it to our stores. Energy Dispatch is our logistics company where we run about 250 truck drivers. So from the terminal point where we buy the oil, we use our trucks to deliver those to our stores. So these are like vertically integrated businesses: Metroplex, Energy Dispatch, and then RaceTrac and Raceway. We are the second largest private organization in Georgia, company in Georgia, and 22nd largest in the United States. We are primarily located on the southeast of the country. We have about 600 RaceTrac stores and 250 Raceway stores. We make about 256 million transactions per year. So these are some of the metrics from 2022. We have implemented many energy efficient features at our stores, and we raise and donate funds for nonprofits. And RaceTrac is fuel agnostic. What I mean by that is we sell different types of gasolines: premium, regular, and diesel. I have different types of diesel oils, and then we also sell ethanols. And soon you will see the EV charging stations in our stores. So that's what we mean by we are fuel agnostic. So the reason what is the reason for us to go to cloud? These are some of the reasons we went to the cloud. One is we can experiment without committing. There is some features out there that we want to see if it fits into our solution. We can immediately be able to spin up those solutions and then see if it works for us. If not, like, shut it down. And high availability and scalability, the DR strategies are built into it. And also any feature that we spin up in the cloud, we can able to generate the code, and we can able to keep it just in case if you want to spin up another version or a service in the cloud, we can able to use the exact same code and pass some necessary parameters to create them. And also estimate our cost, like when we spin up our clusters in the Databricks, or we spin up a new machine, VM, we can able to see what it costs, like Azure Logic Apps or any other things we use. We can able to estimate what it's going to cost us for the next few months or few weeks till we need those features on. So this is our journey with Alation. In late 2021, RaceTrac started engaging with Alation. We started having meetings between the leadership team. Alation made many presentations why the data governance platform is the best out there and is the best fit for us. In 2022, we wanted to do the POC with Alation in RaceTrac. So we had a dedicated project manager from Alation assigned to us, breaking down all the necessary tasks for us, like what are the tasks that Alation needs to do, what are the tasks RaceTrac needs to do. With the help of both Alation and RaceTrac team, we were able to stand up a POC environment, and we created the data catalogs and the curation efforts and see how it will work. So in late 2022, not late 22, later in the spring, we rolled out Alation into production, and that effort continued forward. Like the SMEs from Alation participated in all the meetings with our users internally to introduce Alation Data Governance Platform. After we went to production, the first thing we did is we did not ingested the cloud data set. Rather, we went to our traditional data warehouse, relational database data sets. We ingested into Alation, and also the Power BI reports. So just to get the initial buy-in to see how well it works with the data lineage, curation efforts, and creating the data catalog for existing data sets. And while we ingested this, we also started engaging in identifying the data domains. For example, it could be accounting, sales, tax, logistics, marketing. So we identified domains. Initially, we identified 15 domains. Now we have about 19 domains in the system. And we made sure, like, for each and every domain, we have a data owner assigned for these domains. So every domain has one data owner. And with the help of the data owner, we identified at least 2 data stewards for the data curation efforts. So we have about 30, close to 40 data stewards in our company. And we did not stop there. With the help of Alation, we gave licenses for Alation University, so folks can go and see what is governance. They can learn about catalogs. They can learn about how to curate data, how to create lineage, write glossaries, articles. So those licenses were given to our users and also for our engineers within our company. We conducted many just-in-time office hours. And also, we volunteered to go and talk about governance in other lunch and learn sessions within the company. So that's how our journey started. The dashboard, the slide you see to the bottom right is our RaceTrac Alation dashboard. So after we rolled out this Alation governance, the initial results were we started seeing the analysts within the company able to collaborate. Earlier, they were working in silos. So Alation turned out to be one single unified location where they can able to go and query the existing data that is available, the name of the data, attributes, data sets. So that brought a unified place for them to come and discuss about what is this data, what are these attributes and fields. And also this enabled us to identify those silos, like with the same exact data, people were creating so many data sets. So we were able to drastically reduce some of the data sets that were created. And since we have these items documented in Alation, we were able to deliver the projects much in better speed, speed to market. What I mean is, like, we create a user story task. We now know who are the where is the feed is coming from, who we should reach out to, who are the owners for these specific data sets. So all these extra additional effort that we need to do was we were able to reduce the time. So we can able to deliver the projects in much higher time. And also, as part of our agile delivery, we made sure we added a user task for the engineers to work with the business analyst, or also to work with the business to see if they can able to curate the data as and when they deliver the project. So that became as part of our agile delivery as well. So all these things created a data-driven culture within the organization, and we are promoting these culture, and we are going forward with this. And this is a recipe we used to create our data catalog. I hope this will help you as well. I talked about the analysts coming together and seeing how they can help, but also it is very much necessary for you to include the leaders within each and every domain. Like, it could be from the marketing or taxing or taxes or accounting. You need to bring those leaders and then make sure that they are involved in that, and they also promote this data governance within their line of business. So everyone is aware of this process, and that also brings, make sure that they are able to come up with standardized KPIs that can be used across the company. The other thing we did is we went and identified the inventory, like how many databases, how many traditional database systems are out there, and the various feed like SFTP processes, the APIs. So we were able to collect all those inventory and put it in one single location and document it in Alation. It also includes the Power BI reports. But last but not least is this whole Alation data governance platform. IT can help, but this is an ultimate responsibility of the business. So you need to make sure the data owners take responsibilities for writing the data policies, privacy, who should have access to what what are the KPIs that drive these results. So these recipes should be pushed back to the business. Although IT can help them, but they should take the ownership of being present in the Alation data governance. And these are some of the successful stories of ours after doing the real-time analytics. The first thing is safe cache management. Team members at the stores, at the convenience store retailers, they have to manually key in some data and then spin up a file and then send it over to us. That is a manual process, and based on their time, they do it. So with the help of our vendors, we were able to get some APIs in with one vendor, and the other vendor was able to stream the data. So with the help of Databricks, we directly hooked up to these APIs and these streaming systems, and we started ingesting the safe cache management data set into our Lakehouse platform. Earlier, it takes about over 24 hours. File needs to be uploaded, file needs to be downloaded, file passed on to several different file servers, so it was a very lengthy, long process. And the live ticker information is, as we do the wholesale fuel trading business, we need to see what is the price of the oil. So this is not a traditional way to do it in Databricks, but we were able to accomplish this by calling the API in some routine, where we were able to refresh the ticker information through API, through Databricks, and onto the Power BI. So we were able to save some cost on other software products that we used to own to see these ticker information. And the signage data, the gas signs you've seen on the stores, those information we are now streaming directly using the API. Point of sale system, the current point of sale system, how it works is from the store, the file gets copied to some PC. From that PC, the store gets to a file server. From one file server, it again goes to a different file server, and we read it from our on-prem systems to the cloud. So it's a very, there is a plenty of latency there. So we are now moving entirely into the data lake platform. And also, there were some challenges we looked at some of the point of sale system. For example, those companies can only drop a file with the exact file name, a static file name, but they will not be able to append the timestamp to those files, like JSON files or XML files. We were able to find a solution using the Azure Logic Apps and event grids. As soon as the file gets dropped, we just add the timestamp to it, and then Databricks picks it up and processes it into the Lakehouse platform. And truck driver information is nothing but we stream the data directly from the API, and live pumps data is our first Delta Live tables in RaceTrac, and this is one of our big win when it comes to bringing the real-time data into RaceTrac. I'm going to talk about in 3 slides from now. And also, it helped us in some natural disaster scenario. Like, we were able to see like what stores are operating and not, because we are getting the real-time data from these stores. And cameras to a transaction point of sale system is, with the power of cloud, we can able to go back to a certain point in time for a camera, and then attach that camera feed to a specific point of sale transaction that happened at a specific store to see like how many products were checked out. So these kinds of use cases, we have so many use cases, but these are some of the prime use cases that helped us move forward. And the importance of understanding the data is, as you can see, one on the left is a finance dashboard, and the one on the right is an inventory management app. They use the same exact KPI. They're trying to run the exact same dashboard, but they use a different KPI, and they derive with the different formula. So with the power of Alation, we are able to, we are working with the business to document and add these KPIs, so we use the exact same KPI across the company. And this is another example, the labor hours, HR management system, and time and attendance. They use a different way to derive these results. So we are working with the business to put all these logic in the Alation. So there'll be one single platform for folks to go and query and identify how they can get these reports run. So we have trust in this data. And this is the slide I was talking to you earlier. The image you see on the bottom is a typical way a tank is installed in our stores. So it has alarms, it has sticks data. Sticks data is nothing but you just put a stick in there to see like what's the volume of fuel in the tank. And then we have leak detection and alarms and sensors. These data we put it into our Lakehouse platform, and what we were able to, using the pumps down data and the sticks data, what we were able to identify is you see like 20,000 gallons are in the tank, but the point of sale system transaction only registered 10,000 gallons. So what happened to the other 10,000 gallons? We were able to see like there were some stores, some loss prevention loss was happening, asset loss. So we were able to take necessary actions to take care of this business. So these kinds of use cases we were not able to identify without going to the cloud platform. And this is our current architecture. So we are a complete Microsoft Azure platform. Alation sits on the top, records all the QLI, the lineage across from our source to our end Power BI reports. So as you can see, Azure Data Factory is our integration tool. For any CSV file, a JSON file, we just use the Azure Data Factory to read the files and push it into the Databricks. We call the Databricks notebooks directly. And if it is a steaming job like Kinesis Stream or Azure Event Hubs and APIs, we directly query those from the Databricks. So this is our current architecture. We are still in Hive Metastore. We have 4 data lakes. One is dedicated for Delta Lake, one is dedicated for file share, one is dedicated for external vendors, and one is dedicated for logs. The reason we did that is we do not want people to be going into our Delta Lake data lake to go and manipulate the Parquet files that is written over. So we can restrict the access directly to those files. So that way all these files are secured, and we can able to create a DR strategy just in case we want to move over to a different region. And also the other allied services that we use on the cloud are the Key Vault, the Logic Apps, Event Grid, Azure Functions. Azure Function is not listed here, but we do use Azure Functions as part of our solutions. And these are our data vision. As we go forward, we want to complete our cloud migration. We are building a common data model in our system for a point of sale and other use cases we have. And also we want to improve the data quality, and also we want to make sure we democratize the data, be available for the users across the enterprises. And we are also working on master data management, trying to monetize the data, and also provide data as a service within the organization, not externally, but within the organization. We have a data architecture board just to go and review all the architecture like the one I showed before. Like we are currently spinning up the Unity catalog, so we are looking at how we want to design the Unity catalog as we move forward. And also we have big data data models created for each and every schemas and data sets we are creating moving forward. So these are some of the visions we want to look at it. And also our Databricks environment, we are trying to provide that as a platform, as a service. What I mean is a specific catalog can be given to a specific business unit, so they can do whatever whatever use cases that they are trying to solve. So you're not going to spin one workspace for each line of business, but rather we will go by a catalog for a line of business. So that's the direction we are going forward, and also hiring and upskilling, like we want to give training to our analysts, our engineers, as well as to our regular data users, like how to query Databricks, how to use Power BI, and all such good stuff. Last but not least, you need to make sure your team has the right IT tools. For example, for data modeling, we use the DB schema. We also have evaluated SQL DBM, so that is one of the tools we looked at to see how we can model these common data model and all these data models in the Databricks cloud platform. These are some of the lessons learned. There are headwinds and tailwinds as we rolled out Alation and Databricks in our company. The thing is, you need to get the buy-in from the leadership team, and also focus on quick wins. So don't go for the most complex projects that you can implement, and identify the popular data sets. In our cases, point of sale system is our popular data set. So we ingested the point of sale system and as well as our data warehouse initially. And technology is easy. I'm sure like you all have heard about the generative AI, LLMs, but we can go and spin up those today, but is it even possible to put them into the enterprises is something you need to think about. So the process takes time. So the technology can be out there, but you need to come from the top-down approach, like identify the business problem, identify the right technology, and then go forth. And but although there are success stories, there are also some challenges. Alation and Databricks drivers, we had challenges ingesting the data from Databricks into Alation. So we need to work with the SMEs from both Alation and Databricks. We work together to identify the right drivers to pull these query logs into it, so we can able to find all the lineage in the Alation platform. And the last is you need to find an evangelist within your organization who can talk for you, like all the solutions and the technology that you rolled out. Although it works, but there should be someone within the business or within the organization who can reach out to each and every business and then put some good words about all the work that you are doing. So with that, I will pass it on to DB to conclude with the few more slides.
Thanks, Raghu. That was amazing. As a product manager, we sit and build products, design products. But when we get to hear from customers on how they are deriving value from our products, it's just so gratifying. So a big thank you to Raghu. At least I learned a lot. How many of you learned a few things from this presentation? Okay, that's a pretty good turnout. So overall, just to summarize, we provide the Alation Data Intelligence Platform, which is today used by 35% of the Fortune 100 companies to be able to find, understand, and govern their data. If that is the key takeaway you have from an Alation standpoint, we'll be more than grateful. And obviously, learn a lot from the lessons learned and the tips and techniques that Raghu shared very kindly. Now we're going to wrap up by basically saying a big thank you to all for attending the session. We are here to help you in your organization's sort of overall objective to drive a data-driven culture. You can visit us at booth number 529, and you can also go and sign up for a 14-day free trial available on Databricks Partner Connect. So with that, that ends the formal set of slides. I think we have some time remaining. We can do some live Q&A. Raghu and I will be more than happy to answer a few questions.